Hey there, it's been a while, been busy, holidays, all those crazy things, but it's time for another episode of Snakespiration. And today I have a great example of something that when you keep snakes as pets, their husbandry, a lot of people say, well, snakes are easy. You just have to feed them, make sure they have water, and make sure that, they have a big enough enclosure. Well, in Colorado, we have some unique issues with keeping snakes as pets. And one of those is the dry air. Now this snake, you guys have seen it before, and this is the Woma python from Australia. It comes from very arid and dry regions of Australia. But as you can see, it had a very bad shed just recently. Now, I'm not going to go yanking on this skin. What I'm going to do with this snake is I'm going to soak it in a nice bath of water, not too warm. Because too warm, water temperature to us is very different to water temperature to a snake. We need to be very cognizant of what the water temperature. Warm to us is well over 100 degrees and can kill a snake. So you really have to measure the water temperature if you're going to soak your snake and make sure that the water's not too warm and you don't have a temperature spike which potentially could kill your snake. It may not, but it could if the water temperature, say, all of a sudden it was 120 degrees. Way too hot. That's going to feel hot to you. But 100 to you, your body temperature is almost 100 degrees. It's not going to feel very warm to you. It's just going to feel like the same as your body temperature. But look here, this is a very bad shed for a snake. Now snakes, when they shed, it's really kind of fascinating, is that they typically rub their snout. And this one had a great shed all the way up to here. So all this was great, and then it got bad. And what caused that was our Colorado's dry air, and the snake didn't have the right microclimate to get the good shed. Now I've adjusted its conditions to make sure that the next time this snake goes to shed, it will be perfect. It will be a solid skin. Now snakes shed, they're not like a lizard. This is how a lizard sheds its skin. It flakes off in little pieces. A snake, when they shed, will rub their snout on something until it starts to peel off and then crawl out of their skin. And something I always like to ask people, you can hear my dog in the background. This house is a zoo. It always is, always will be. Nothing we can do about it except for enjoy it. So just ignore that barking. He wants to see me, but right now, during Snakespiration, he's not going to be allowed in here. So, with snake shedding, they crawl out of their skin inside out, and then all of a sudden the skin will come off here. So I always ask people when they find a snake skin, which way did the snake go? And the answer is, do you know? Can you off the top of your head? The direction the tail of the skin is pointing. Because the snake can crawl out of it inside out, and it turned inside out. So the snake is crawling that way. As it turns inside out, all of a sudden the tail now is pointing this way, and the rest of the snake is that way. So a lot of times you'll find a skin coming out of a hole, and you won't ever see the head of it. You only see the tail coming out of the hole, and people are like, oh, that snake shed its skin as it's going down the hole. No, it's just shedding its skin coming out of the hole. And the reason it was in the hole was to get that microclimate just perfect, the right humidity, the right moisture content, so that this doesn't happen to the snake. Now, a snake in the wild has choices, unlimited choices on doing that. In captivity, yeah, I failed here. I failed this snake. I didn't have it set up exactly right. I needed to have more moisture in its enclosure. We have had a dry few weeks here in Colorado with really extreme cold weather down near zero, which really dries out the air, which then probably cause the snake to have a poor shed. So I've got to work on its conditions. I've got a moisture box in there now. You'll hear a lot of people talk about those, where the snake can crawl into the box and raise its humidity just like it was going underground. Which is nice to know that you have a bad shed, you can fix it. So that's Snakespiration for today. Just how a snake sheds its skin. It does not look like this. This is a bad example, but I wanted to show you and give you a good fix if you are a new snake breeder out there, or a snake collector, or snake pet owner, whatever you want to call yourself. And your snake continually has sheds that don't look good, that aren't in one solid piece. The reason is that the humidity of that cage, of its enclosure, is not high enough. And if you can't raise the humidity of the enclosure, you need to give the snake a place where it can raise it itself. And so that's where the moisture box, which is just like a little cave, the snake can crawl in there with sphagnum moss, wet sphagnum moss in there. It can crawl in there. You can use even wet paper towels if you want to keep it cleaner. But and it'll crawl in there, and it will raise the humidity near the snake, and then you won't have this happening. I'll show you this snake again tomorrow during the snake show, and I'll show you after I've given it a good soak, and all this skin will come right off. So what is the snake show? Well, the snake show is now our new weekly live hangout on air on Google+, and I encourage you to join it. Check me out on Google+, on Facebook, the Center for Snake Conservation on Google+, or Facebook. You can look there too, and you'll find a link to the event, the Snake Show, which will be a weekly event at 11 a.m. Mountain Time every week, where we just get together, we talk about snakes, we talk about fun, and I'm going to pull in guests from all over the world to talk about snakes with us, and it's going to be a blast, and you're going to learn more. I'm looking forward to learning a lot, and I hope you can learn more than you'd ever dreamed of about snakes with the Snake Show. And also stay tuned for more Snakespiration episodes. We're going to keep these going. They're not going anywhere. Trust me, these are too much fun. Until then, until tomorrow at 11, stay snake-spired.